This is the chill show, this meeting.
That's how I felt all week. I was trying to prepare for all of this. Lots of reports.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to the Board of Library Trustees, meeting in this case as a Board of Finance for the Allen County Public Library. It's the 22nd of January, 2026, 3 o'clock. I will read the roll. Robbie Goodman.
Here.
Marty Seifert.
Here.
Tom Freistroffer.
Present.
Paul Moss. He's here but not here yet. Pat Pastrick.
Here.
And Ben Eisbart. We have a quorum, and once Paul shows up, we'll count him as part of the roll. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda as distributed?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Thank you. Jill, the investment report.
Okay. Well, this is takes place each January, and we discuss really how the funds of the library were invested each year. And in your packet, you'll find all the charts and history from the past 10 years. I really didn't change it. I figured David knew exactly how this worked, so why reinvent the wheel? So I just copied everything how he had done it previously, so that's what we went with. But we had a really good year. Rates were still doing really well, actually. We had our gains for this year, still really, really good. We dropped a little bit, but still very good. We had over $2,265,151.74 with an average yield of 4.2%. So still very good. We had a little bit of drop. Last year was about 2.5 million, but still very, very healthy for the library. We did see a little bit of the rates falling in the fall. The Fed started to make a few adjustments. But from the charts, you can see that most of the funds are held in the Lake City Investment Money Market account. They had an average rate of 4.62, while the STAR accounts had average 4.18. We continue to have almost most of the money always invested. This year, that was 96.91, was generally always invested. The smaller portion of that we don't invest generally is because we use that for the daily operations. That money is generally always in our STAR account, and we need that for cash flow purposes. So we have to have generally $13 to $14 million for our cash flows and paying the bills and the payroll and that sort of thing. So this will, because of how the property taxes are distributed, this helps us get through May and June until those funds come in, and then again in November, December. So that's the money that we keep in the STAR account, and everything else we keep in the Lake City account. You do have a sheet in there that shows the CD rates. I did go out and check those, but again, the money market at Lake City is better than the 24 months CD rates. And with the F&P projects, it's best to keep that, liquid because obviously if we have purchases that need to be made, it's easy to get to those funds. The current rates for Lake City at December were 4.14 and STAR was at 3.58. But if you have any questions, I'd gladly answer them for you.
Jill, why don't you put it on
Yes.
record, why can't we just put it all in crypto and make millions? Why are we limited to money?
Somehow I think somebody'd come knocking on our door and said, that's a problem. So we're not going to do that.
But we are constrained by the law. We're only
Yes, we are.
allowed a
We're
certain amount.
we are very limited on how we can invest these funds.
Jill, I have a question,
Yeah.
or just a comment. I want to make sure I have this right, but when you look at how dynamic the difference in earnings has been over the last 5 years, that's just all a function of interest rates.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Investment approach or anything doesn't relate to that. It's all liquid stuff.
yeah. Because in fact, I put in my treasurer's report, I think in 2023, I think we were like at 90,000 investment earnings. So this really helped put money back in reserves for the F&P project.
Any other questions? Are there any other items of business? Can I have a motion to accept the investment report?
So moved.
Second? Paul, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. No other items. I'll entertain a motion. We adjourn. Please.
So moved.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Pat. Further discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Now let's get to the meat of our meeting. You have a third agenda. This is the agenda for the Library Board of Trustees, January 22nd, at approximately 3:05, and it's exactly 3:05. Damn good. Roll call, Tom Freistroffer,
Present.
Paul Moss,
Present.
Pat Pastrick,
Here.
Robbie Goodman,
Here.
Marty Seifert,
Present.
and Ben Eisbart. 6 present, 1 absent. Okay, can I have a motion that we adopt the agenda as distributed?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. It passes. If no one objects, I'd like to group the approval of the minutes of regular session December 18th, 2025, minutes of the executive session December 18th, 2025, and the minutes of approval of claims January 12th, 2026. May I have a motion to that effect? Thank
Second.
you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Okay, we're moving to the financial report. You're up again.
Okay. I don't have a whole lot because I have a lot of other items to get to, but we did have a few lines that were spending over budget when we got to December, and those were postage and shipping and trash disposal, just to really increase in postage and overall cost for disposal, trash disposal and recycling. But those will be handled when I get to the resolution here for the year-end transfers. And speaking of year-end transfers, you will have that resolution in your packet when we get to that here shortly. That normally actually is a December item, but I had that postponed, one, because I wasn't here in December meeting, and I actually wanted to wait until we had, and I had an opportunity to get through the F&P expenses and reimburse those expenses from the general fund from the bond proceeds. So we were able to do that in very tail end, actually the 29th of December. So we actually did a reimbursement from the general fund for a total of $986,000 from the bond proceeds. Those were all the 2025 F&P expenses. So we do have an additional 386 worth of expenses that are from 2020 through 2024 that are eligible to be reimbursed. But I'm just going to hold on to that for right now. And, they're fine in the general fund for now. But if we want to later on to go reimburse those, we can. But for right now, I just thought it was the cleanest to just go and do the 2025 expenses. So those are now reimbursed. And those were really making the lines really out of whack. So I wanted to clean those up and do those first. And then we're going to go and do the resolution to do the budget transfers here shortly. And then in your packet, we're also going to do the carryover encumbrances. And we'll do those in a minute. But also, I did not have this to put into your packet, but on Tuesday, we did receive the solar rebate check finally.
Oh, good.
That finally came through. And that was for $718,298.55.
Good deal.
So that was for the solar portion. We are still working with Baker and Tilly on the chiller rebate portion. So that'll be hopefully filed sometime this year, but that's a lot of paperwork, and they're working on their part on that. But
Jill, got an approximate number for us? How much we expected from that?
they're not exactly sure, because there's a lot that goes into whether, if things were made in the United States, and all kinds of things go into that number. So I don't have a number yet for that. But we got this rebate quicker than we anticipated, to be honest. We filed that. It had to be filed, I believe, by November 15th. So that came in quicker than what we thought. But that's all I have for right now. But I'm happy to answer any questions if you have.
Any questions? Can I have a motion to approve then the financial report?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Okay, it passes. Let's go for the approval of the claims.
Okay. So today's claims are $980,000, and high dollar claims our maintenance contract with Trained is $241,000, and employer premiums that move over into our self-insurance is $220,000. I did lower that a little bit this year, just because we have a healthy balance in our self-insurance account right now. So I dropped that from 250 down to 220 this year. And if it needs, depending how claims come in, if I feel I need to move it back up a little bit, I can do that at any time. But right now, I dropped that down a little bit. I have that one. And then I also did make another claim for the bond payment. I don't know whether I really needed to do that, but with doing the other reimbursement, we did have a couple claims, and so that was over $1 million on the bond. So I was just covering my bases. Don't know whether I needed to do this or not, but we did have a reimbursement of that $986,000, and then another check for $23,000 for a little bit of January expenses on that as well.
Okay, any questions? We'll circulate the claims for signature.
Yeah. And I'll have some other signatures on some of these resolutions, so I'll probably do everything at once.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the claims as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Thank you. Jill, you're still up.
I'm still up. Okay. In your packet, you have resolution for budget transfers. And as I mentioned, that was usually a December item. But these are moving between the lines. There's no additional money being added to this at all. And you have the detail of all the lines that are being affected. These are just the lines that are going over our official budget, not the internal budget at all. And the total for that is $2,838,000. If you have any questions, I can answer that.
Any questions? All those in favor signify.
I'll move for approval, Resolution 2026-01.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Let's move to 2026-02.
Before we move on, Ben?
Yes.
I just
Yes.
appreciate that you went to the trouble to break out the detail on this so we could see what made that up.
Oh, you're
That was
welcome.
really helpful.
You're welcome. And then we have, trying to get to my next paper here, and find all my other papers. This is a PO, let's see, approve outstanding encumbrance for 2025, for 2026. These are for our PO or commitments that existed at the end of the year, and they will actually build in 2026. The reason we need to do this is because these funds were committed in 2025, and that way they don't use our 2026 appropriations to pay for prior items. The total for this year is, the grand total is $2,486,637.84, which the general fund total portion is $2,481,436.14. And then $5,270 is library gift fund portion. The bulk of that is due to the FMP, which is the architect and engineering and other professional services from the FMP project. So over $2 million of that is due to those open encumbrances for that. And the remaining portion, $347,000, is from library materials. So that's basically making up almost all of that $2 million for that. Does anybody have any questions regarding that?
Can I have a motion
So moved.
to approve?
Second.
Thank you. 26-02, carry forward the encumbrances. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. That passes. I think you're done.
I think I'm done. All right.
Okay, good job. Okay. You'll see under committee reports, there are two items, A and B. I failed in a public meeting to make an appointment to the Capital Projects Committee, which we know is chaired by Marty, and Pat Pastrick is our representative to that committee, for your edification, and I am the third member. Now we go to the Capital Projects Committee itself. Marty?
All right, thank you, Ben. I'm happy today to get some progress to report to everyone on the capital projects for the committee and the facility master plan.
Okay.
First off, you didn't hear about it in the news, it was in the paper, but the Southwest Allen agreed to the memorandum of understanding with us for the potential purchase of real estate that is owned by Southwest Allen. Negotiations and discussions are underway, but certainly I feel positive about moving forward with that, and hope that it helps us to move forward, solidify our location in Southwest for the new Avoid branch and move forward with that project. So I'm really happy about to report that. The second positive news is on Shawnee. We have been in negotiations, and they entered into a purchase agreement for the purchase of property that is for a new Shawnee branch, which is directly adjacent to our current Shawnee branch. And today I'm going to present a motion for us to approve that. We can report, our attorneys have reported, and we can report that the due diligence work was completed and all contingencies under the purchase agreement with the Diocese of Fort Wayne South Bend have been satisfied. So therefore, I am moving for the board's approval of the purchase of the 1 acre at 5610 Noe Avenue, Fort Wayne, Indiana, along with authorization to allow Susan as our executive director and officers, as may be necessary, to sign any and all documents needed to close on the purchase, so we can move that forward. That's my motion.
May we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. Well, it's quite an achievement. We're
All right, it is.
hearing and seeing none. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. We're working on two branches. Terrific. Okay, Susan, Executive Director's report.
Thank you so much, Ben. You may have noticed a new box on our homepage of our website. Well, this month we launched Chat Reference with our partner, the vendor Unique Chat. This is a fully managed service available through our website 7 days a week, 96 hours per week, where patrons can ask their reference questions through a chat box on our website. It is staffed by humans, so this is not an AI kind of thing. I have tested it myself, and I have been very, very pleased with the quality of answers received. And it's a way to expand our availability to get questions answered. And so far, the response has been really great. It came in really handy on Martin Luther King Day. That is a day that is a floating holiday for us, so we remain open. Our staff can take it as a holiday at a later time. And we had so many chat questions come in. Are you open? Are you open? Are you open? Yes, we are. So that was a way to reduce phone calls into the library, but to people to find out that we were open. And people have asked all kinds of questions where they can drop off donations, general reference questions, questions about the locations of branches. So in the first 2 weeks that it's been live, it's been a great success. So try it out.
I do have a question. Is somebody keeping track of the type of questions? So
Yes.
we have an idea what people, so in the event, in the future, we may say, well, maybe we better publicize this a little bit more. We're getting a lot of questions about it. If it's about
Absolutely,
us, yeah.
absolutely. And we have soft launched it, but I believe Aja and team are getting ready to do more of a publicity push around it. And we do have an internal staff team that are doing quality control just to make sure that the answers that are being given are up to snuff. But so far, we've been really pleased with the quality of answers that have been given out. Yeah, it's been great. Once again, we are partnering with our great friends at the AARP Foundation to provide free tax assistance from February 2nd through April 15th at 9 of our locations. And I noticed just earlier today in this exact room, some of the volunteers were being trained. So tax assistance is provided by trained AARP volunteers. Appointments are required, and it's one of the most popular things we do all year. Fort Wayne Community School AMP Lab students set up in the Great Hall here at the main library for several days, it was last week, to ask patrons to provide feedback and market testing on the projects that they are working on this quarter. So we were very happy to give these young aspiring entrepreneurs that kind of support. Dolly Parton turned 80 years old on January 19th. She looks amazing. And the library is celebrating with a community-wide coloring project. We offered free Dolly Parton coloring pages for children to enjoy in the library, or they can download and print at home. And then we are mailing them as a bundle to Dolly herself. And we also are encouraging the community to make a monetary donation to our Imagination Library program in honor of her milestone birthday. We did a snail mailing, and we also did an online digital campaign, and those donations are starting to come in, and we're very grateful for the community's generosity. Beth Boatwright, our Director of Community Programs and Partnerships, she was selected as a participant in the 44th class of Leadership Fort Wayne. And I believe they kicked off their year-long of training and education last week, so we're really happy to have her representing ACPL in that. On February 3rd, I'll be traveling to the State House with Aja Michael Keller and Leanne Bury to represent ACPL at the Indiana Library Federation State House Day, and we have several meetings set up with our local representatives and senators. There are a few bills that we are watching. As you probably know, this is a short session. This is also a very quickly moving session, and I almost hesitate to report on any bills because as soon as I say something, it will change, as in there are committee hearings going on as we speak right now. But there are some bills in the Senate that are looking at library funding and how budgets are overseen. There is some interest in the Senate regarding how libraries are overseen fiscally. There has been some concern in the Senate about the fiscal oversight of budgets. Libraries, as you know, these are appointed boards and not elected boards. And there's been some concern among some senators that libraries are one of the few, if not only, boards that have taxing authority but are appointed boards. So there are some bills that are currently moving through the process, two in particular are Senate Bill 4 and Senate Bill 8, that could change how the binding review process for libraries work, that could have libraries going for binding review for their budgets. The thresholds could be different. So I will keep you abreast as that works through the system and potentially changes. There were hearings going on today that I haven't heard the result of. As I said, there are two bills, Senate Bill 4 and Senate Bill 8. They have very similar wording. I would guess that at some point they will probably be merged, and we haven't also heard what the House might do to them. But I will keep you posted as we work through that. And this is something that we will definitely be talking to our senators and representatives about when we go in February. I also wanted to share that we here at the main library, we are the main site for the Person in Time count on January 28th. And what that is an annual event that is a count of the people experiencing homelessness in a community. And it's a really important annual event because that count is what communities use to base a lot of important social services on. So our social services coordinator here at the library, Sean, he is spearheading that, so we really appreciate his effort. And there are other sites around the county that are participating as well, such as CityLink and such as the rescue mission, but we are the main counting point here at the library. I also wanted to draw your attention to something that I know you enjoy looking at each quarter, the quarterly manager's report. This is the final one for 2025. And if you wanted to turn it to pages 13 and 14, something I often say is that the public library is truly a social safety net, and we are there to augment services and also come into play when certain services become unavailable, either temporarily or permanently, and I thought this was a perfect example. Our Waynedale branch manager, Amanda, writes that during the federal government shutdown last fall, the Social Security office in Waynedale was closed, and during that time, people were directed to the Waynedale branch for assistance with their accounts and questions. As the Waynedale branch is very close to the Social Security office, we saw quite a few people who needed help setting up and accessing their accounts online. The Waynedale staff walked patrons through the often complicated process, and were very happy to make sure they left with the information and documents that they needed, which I found fascinating but not surprising. It's really indicative of the kind of work that happens in our libraries every day. And I also wanted to point out, particularly since we have our new trustee, Dr. Goodman, who comes to us from East Allen School District, something that happened at the Woodburn branch in his neck of the woods. The event they had to celebrate Fire Prevention Month in October, and you can see some photos of that on page 14. They had the East Central Fire and EMS Department coming out to a story time in October. And a big hit was to bring out the fire truck and looks like the fire hose. And it looks like the children out at Woodburn had a wonderful time. I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes, sir.
Susan, I have a question about the tax assistance.
Yes.
What kind of volume did we do last year?
Gosh, Pat, I should have brought down that number, and I don't have that off the top of my head. I can get that to you, but it's well over 1,000, I believe.
And that's all the more I was looking for, is a general idea how many people are affected by
I
that.
can tell you they start calling for appointments well before we're able to take them. I mean, they're calling in early December.
Okay, thank you.
Just anecdotally, when I come in here during that time, it's always people kind of lined up over there waiting to come in. I know you can see it's certainly, definitely a service people are using. I can tell you that. I just want to make a comment. Thanks for including the fourth quarter collection management report, because that's important. I think that the public knows that we're keeping an eye on that, and Matt Etzel's, I think, did a good job putting that report
He
together
does.
for us as well, so.
Thank you. And I should add, I'm glad you mentioned that, Marty, because that collection management report, this is about our print materials. This does not include the myriad of electronic materials that we are adding all the time.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you, Susan. Good report. Let's move to the new business. Is there any new business that should come before this body? Well, seeing and hearing none, is the public around? Seeing and hearing none, do we have any no? Nobody's watching us? Oh, good. Well, okay, we're halfway there. All right, all that being said, I'll entertain a motion, we adjourn.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. We are adjourned. Take a 5-minute break, and we have an executive session. Thank you. Thank you, folks.
Ben, I was at my family Christmas over the weekend, and I found out